the city every single year, and clearly this year. And I just want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank the task force, and I want to thank Winn for all that you have done to make this a great day, and all of the partners that have come out to also provide services and food and resources. Totally appreciate it. It's really about building community and just hanging out together, relaxing, getting to know each other, and really appreciate everyone coming out. We have a very special moment here right now, and I want to especially welcome the McGonagle family here today. To announce the naming at the new Mary Ellen McCormack Development of the Billy McGonagle Community Center.
You got it, Dan. I believe in you.
Thank you, Brian and Danny. As you know, we've been hard at work with our resident partners and with Winn to develop a plan to redevelop Mary Ellen McCormack, and we will break ground on this important project next year. And one of the first things that we'll do, in addition to building new housing, is build a beautiful new community center that'll be back in this direction by the old heating plant. This community center will be a gathering space for residents. It will have services and programming. It will be very much designed with the resident voices that are participating with us. And I think it's just a really fitting tribute to Billy because it's exactly the kind of community center he would have wanted at this site. As many of you know, and many of you are not strangers to Billy McGonagle, he had very strong ties to this site. He grew up here, he worked here, he had a long, over 40-year career at BHA, ending as administrator, and was really beloved, a completely unique human being. And I can't think of a better tribute than creating a place where residents can thrive. You know, I think Billy would really love that. So by way of welcome, I just want to let Carol Sullivan say a few words from the task force, and then followed by Gilbert Winn from Winn, and then we'll get into some more remarks from the electeds. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Many of you know me. I'm Carol Sullivan, Executive Director of Task Force here at Mary Ellen McCormack. And all I can say is this is quite an honor to be here with everyone, and of course Billy's wife and his children. And this has been a long time coming. As Kate just said, Billy grew up here, and he held Mary Ellen McCormack very near and dear to his heart. And I can tell you a few stories about, especially this one of Billy in this pink shirt that we took at our last Unity Day. And many people didn't realize he was a character. He had an incredible sense of humor. And one of the stories I'm able to tell you is that one day he would always drive through on his way home. Nobody, including BHA, knew when he was going to do it. Well, as a lot of you know where I live, and he's parked on the crosswalk with his right tires on the curb. So I see his car, I look at the plate, and he goes, all right. I go on, I bang on his window, and I says, hey, get this car out of here now or I'm going to tow you. He looked at me with that Billy look, and then he threw his phone on the car seat, on the seat of the car, and he goes, you. I says, yeah, I got you, didn't I? But he had he bursted out laughing. But the most important part is that this is such an honor today, and I just had to give that joke. We brought this up, and another one was he's driving by, some lady throws her garbage out the third floor window, parks his car, grabs the trash, walks up to the third floor, raps on her door, and identifies himself. And then he turns around and he says, here's your trash, deposit it properly in the bin, because we don't throw our trash out our third floor windows. So that was like his humorous side, but he meant it. So getting back to why we're all here, this is a very, very exciting day for all of us here at Mary Ellen. And I just wish he was here to see this, but I also am very honored to be here with Kate Bennett, Ellen McCormack, his wife, and Kenzie Bork. And this naming of the community center after Billy is just, it's spectacular, and I can't wait to see it finished. And when they have the opening ceremonies, I'm going to be sitting beside you, Ellen. But this time I'll be able to stand. So let me give this to Gil. Gil, where are you? Right here he is. So let me introduce Gilbert Winn. He is the CEO of Winn Companies and in charge of the redevelopment of Mary Ellen McCormack.
Thank you, everyone. I'm going to be very brief with two important messages. One is that when we're standing here next year at Unity Day, you're going to see some construction activity finally for the start of this redevelopment. I think that deserves a round of applause. And the second thing is we're here at Unity Day, and Unity is all about one purpose. And Billy McGonagle has expressed one purpose throughout his great career in his life, which was building community. We worked with him across the city in so many important developments, and Billy started the redevelopment of this project here. And we're going to see it through on his behalf. And you have the best group of elected officials in the state behind us. We have the mayor, we have state officials, we have federal officials and the congressman. Everyone is rowing in the same direction, and this is going to be a wonderful revitalization. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Gilbert. I want to introduce next perhaps our most important speaker for today, my friend Ellen McCormack.
Okay, bear with me because I'm not a public speaker. Hi, my name is Ellen McCormack. I'm so proud to be here today representing my husband, Billy McGonagle. Billy grew up here, first living up 427 O'Connelly Ave, but most of his time was spent living at 112 O'Callahan Way, Old Harbor Village. Do the shirt? Hold up. He lived here at Mary Ellen McCormack, known then as the Old Harbor Village, the first 20 years of his life. After spending a brief time away from public housing, he then went to work for the Boston Housing Authority for 41 years. That calculates out to 92% of his life, starting as a laborer and working his way, as it is said, up the ladder to becoming the administrator of the Boston Housing Authority. Billy knew what it was like to live in public housing, so this made him compassionate toward the tenants. He was always 100% working to improve and maintain tenants' living conditions. He also had a good rapport with his employees. If anyone is deserving of recognition from the Boston Housing Authority, the City of Boston, the State of Massachusetts, and the federal government, it is my husband, Billy McGonagle. After all, they all have properties within the Boston Housing Authority. To see his name displayed at the future Billy McGonagle Community Center gives his family so much pride and pleasure. Hopefully, we will see his name again and again being displayed elsewhere. Billy never missed a Unity Day, so to announce this today is like he is here in attendance. Please enjoy yourself the rest of the afternoon, and again, thank you to the Boston Housing Authority and the Winn Corporation. And Billy, as it says on your headstone, your legacy lives on.
Thank you, Ellen. I'd like to introduce next our congressman, who has been an incredible support at this project, pre-redevelopment, during redevelopment, and spends a lot of time here, and certainly is very committed to this community and has been a great support to me personally at BHA, so I appreciate that. Congressman Stephen Lynch.
Thank you, Kate. It has taken an enormously long time to come to this point. I remember one of the first meetings we had about the redevelopment of Mary Ellen McCormack. It was myself, Councilor Jimmy Kelly, Mayor Menino, so it goes back a few years, and I'm so delighted today to be able to see the creation of the Bill McGonagle Community Center, but also to see the whole redevelopment process begin in a real way. And I'm so thankful that we have great partners like Gilbert Winn and the Winn companies. The YMCA is here as well, and they're going to be longtime partners here. Thank you so much. This has been a real partnership, and I want to thank all the city councils that are here. I know Ed Flynn was here earlier, and our state partners as well. A lot of the money that will come in here to help this happen is coming here because of the great work of your local officials here. The way we do it now at the federal level is requests for funding have to come from the local community. And so I want to give great credit to our mayor, Mayor Michelle Wu, for making sure that we remained a priority here. And it's a real partnership. You know, there's a saying that the sign of a life lived well is that the work that you do lives after you. And it is so true about Bill McGonagle. Billy McGonagle and I had 1,000 meetings with him over the last 20 years, and he always had the best interests of the residents of public housing, especially here at Mary Ellen McCormack, in his heart. And that's what guided him. And it's so fitting that his name, his legacy, his good work will continue to be done, and his message of unity will continue to be put out there through the Bill McGonagle Community Center. So I want to thank all of the residents here who have been so patient during all this time to come to this final point. We were able to plug in $1.75 million through the good work of the local officials here, and also $850,000 was contributed to the YMCA in order to jumpstart the Bill McGonagle Community Center. And so I'm looking forward to next Unity Day when we'll be able to actually see this taking shape. So God bless you all and enjoy the day.
Thank you, Congressman. Our next speaker is not a stranger to this site. She has been an incredible support to all of our public housing communities as an elected official and especially as mayor. Please, a warm welcome for Mayor Michelle Wu.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out. I'm so honored to be sharing a stage with the McGonagle family and with our incredible leaders across all levels of government, with Gilbert and the Winn companies and everyone who always has fought to put people first. It is really special that not only will Billy's name be attached to a place that meant so much to him and gave him his start in the world to help so many other people in the world, but that it'll be on the community center, which is really about every generation coming together, and public housing being a place where we see is not just about buildings, but about people. Billy and Ellen hosted one of the first backyard parties for me in my very first campaign back in the day. And from time to time, when I was early on as a brand new baby city councilor, I'd get these notes from him in the mail every once in a while. And he was always cheering me on, just reminding me that even if it got tough, that just to stay focused on the right thing. And I didn't know how he found time to do that. And he would always say at the end, "You're my favorite counselor." And it took me a little while to realize that everyone was his favorite counselor. He had that thing about him where every person he talked to felt like he thought you were the most special person in the world. And it was true. He had that ability to pour his whole heart into building that connection and making people feel how valued they were and how important they were and how much potential they had in the world. That is what all of our community centers should do for our young people, for our seniors, for every generation in between. And so it's really going to give us so much inspiration to be able to walk through those doors every day to see his name up there. And I'm so thankful to everyone who is making this happen.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next speaker is Senator Nick Collins, who has been very present also at this site and all the BHA communities in his district. He has also been instrumental in helping us get state funding for public housing on a number of occasions, and I owe a debt of gratitude to him for that. And so please a warm welcome for Senator Nick Collins.
Before I say much more, and I know she's going to be with us even though not full-time, let's hear for Kate Bennett in carrying the torch for DHA this number of years. Done a great job and leaving the organization in better shape than we found it for her successor, Kenzie Bach, who we have great hopes for. The mark of a great public servant is, did they leave the place in better shape than they found it? I think you can say that unequivocally about Bill McGonagle, and there's a reason for that. It was mentioned already by his family and close colleagues about how personal this was to him right here at Old Harbor, but you know, as Congressman Lynch, and we want to thank Congressman Lynch for all he's doing for public housing from Old Colony to here in Mary Ellen McCormack and other parts of the city. Thank you, Congressman, for continuing to support funding when others won't from the federal level. And that makes a big difference. And so what I'm excited about today, someone who I didn't grow up here. I got chased out of here when I was a kid, mainly. You know, I had a great experience with my friends in childhood across the street at Moakley Park. And what's great about this day is it's not only a new day for Old Harbor, but for South Boston, because we're seeing the beginning of a transformation here and with our environmental investments across the street. So I want to thank the mayor and the city officials for continuing to prioritize that as well. So it's an honor to be here. Got to have a citation for the family and our friends at the Mary Ellen McCormack Task Force, because we know they drive the bus here, and this is a very special celebration, this Unity Day. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Senator. Next up, State Rep Beal. The State Rep has been an amazing support throughout his tenure as a representative, and anytime we need help from the state, we are blessed to be able to call Nick or David, and so I'm happy he's here today. Rep Beal.
Thank you, Kate. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Unity Day. It's an honor and privilege to be here today with colleagues in government, the McGonagle family. I worked with Billy for just a short time, and let me tell you, there was nobody who cared more about public housing and the residents of public housing than Bill McGonagle. As somebody who was a newly elected and just learning his way through government, he was always available to answer a phone call, answer a text message, have a cup of coffee, and at any hour, just to help the residents of public housing. He cared about it. These places more than anybody I've met, and I can't think of a more fitting tribute for his legacy than the community center here bearing his name. And as has been said, it really does take a team to make these things possible. I am grateful to our leadership of the city for investing in public housing, to our partners in federal government for investing in public housing, and happy to work alongside my friend and colleague, Senator Nick Collins, to secure several $1 million for this site to make sure that we're carrying forward Billy's legacy and investing in residents and public housing. So God bless you all. Thank you for being here, and look forward to seeing you next year.
Thanks, David. We have several city councilors that have come to also express their support for this incredible announcement. I want to invite the district councilor. Oh, sorry. You're all at-larges. I'm sorry. We have 3 at-larges here today, Erin Murphy, Julie Mejia, and Ruthie Lujan, and they're all going to say a few words.
Thank you. No worry, Kate. And thank you, Kate. Today's not about you, but any chance I get at any BHA event, I just want to thank you for being such a good friend and mentor in my first term here. Anytime there's been an issue, you've been there to pick up the phone and help me through it. So I'm Erin Murphy, at-large city councilor. I want to thank the South Boston electeds who are here and have been always such strong advocates for housing, and just always making sure that we're doing everything we can for the residents in BHA housing. I do want to say, Mom, to Mrs. McGonagle, you've raised a wonderful son. Of all Billy McGonagle's family, I know your son the most, and he's been also, has worn many hats in my first term here. I call him about community center questions, I call him about BHA questions, or I call him about development questions, and he's just been I feel like he's just like his dad, right? Always taking the call at any moment and always being so supportive. And as the granddaughter of a community center that had the name of my grandpa, Papa Murphy, I grew up in community centers, and I was thinking how we could have put Billy's name on so many different things as we're building all these new buildings, and I think it's very special, and I bet that the family had a lot to say in what you wanted his name to be on and what to be remember him as. So thank you for naming the community center after him, and all of the families, because we know that community centers are for our young children, for our seniors, for everyone, and it's going to make this neighborhood and this residence just have a better life. So thank you so much. And Julia.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really excited to be here. I mean, when we think about the word unity and we think about community, this is really what it looks like. Look across this city right now. Look across this space that we're in right now. It is a wonder of diversity. All of us, no matter where we came from, what we bring, at the end of the day, we're all here together. And that is what unity is all about. And that's why I'm so incredibly grateful to not just be here in community with you all, but to be celebrating a man that stood for what it looks like when we stand up for those who have been left out and left behind. So I just want to say thank you all for celebrating this day. Thank you, Mayor Wu, for your investments, and our state and federal colleagues for making sure that we're investing, because when we think about diversity, we often talk about black and white. But let me tell y'all this. When you are poor, we need to start thinking about having different conversations. One of my best friends grew up in South Boston, and I met her in college. And I grew up in Dorchester as a Latina. And the only thing that she and I had in common was that we were both raised by single mothers that were on welfare. And at that moment, we were able to see each other for who we are, not what other people believed us to be. So when we talk about unity, this is what it looks like. All of us, all day, every day. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I know a lot of people spoke, so I'm not going to speak for too long, but I'm at-large City Councilor Ruth Louisiana, represent the entire city on the Boston City Council, and it's a privilege to be here with the McGonagle family, with my colleagues in government, to really celebrate the naming of this community center. Like one of my colleagues stated, community centers are so important. We should make sure that every housing development is able to have a community center where folks are able to be joyous and come together and have safe spaces. I also want to thank especially the Congressman. When we talk about public housing, it really is the federal government's role to really invest in that public housing, and there are so many people across the country who for decades have been trying to take the federal government out of housing, and it's really important that we continue these investments. So thank you, Congressman Lynch, because we need to make sure that everyone has a house, a roof over their head. Housing is a human right. You can't do anything if you don't have a place to call home, if you don't have a place to sleep at night. So it is incredible the work that the BHA does. I started my career as an attorney representing folks, the people I grew up with in Mattapan and Dorchester, South Boston, and housing court who are facing eviction and foreclosure. Building a deep relationship with Boston Housing Authority to think about how we can preserve tenancies. So I'm grateful for the leadership that has that has come to BHA, and I'm excited for what Administrator Bach is going to do, because it really does take all of us, federal, state, and local government, to make sure that our families are not only surviving but thriving, and people can thrive in public housing if we give folks the resources to do so. So thank you, everyone, and I'm just happy to be here with you on this Unity Day.
Thank you, councilors. Before I introduce our last speaker, I just want to say on behalf of BHA, I mean, Billy is very much in our hearts every day at BHA. He knew so many residents and so many employees so deeply, and as administrator, you know, I've really tried to channel Billy a lot, because the values that he set in motion at BHA are really the values we want to bring forward, which is, you know, to be resident-centered and customer service oriented and provide the best services that we can, and really acknowledge all of the beautiful humans that we have living and working in the BHA community. And one of those is Kenzie Bach, the incoming administrator, who will take over the helm in a couple weeks. And I know Billy has a big grin on his face today about that, because Kenzie and Bill were close. Bill was very excited about Kenzie's career in public service when she was at BHA, and I know that he couldn't be happier, and I couldn't be happier that she'll be coming in early August to fill the administrator role. So please welcome Kenzie Bach.
Thank you, Kate. And I'm the last speaker, so I just want to echo Kate. Billy was a huge mentor to me. He hired me to the Housing Authority. He was somebody who I was counting on for advice when I became a city councilor, there hasn't been a day when I've been a city councilor and then now coming back to the BHA that I don't think about him. And so it just means a lot to me personally, like as Kate and others have said to so many, that we're really, we're etching that name in stone here, because it deserves to be, and as Ellen said, it deserves to be many, many more places. There's just two things I want to say. One of them is, something I've been thinking about a lot is I'm a new incoming administrator of the BHA, and when Billy was a young man, when he was a laborer, there was a new administrator of the BHA who set up a management institute to try to make it so that people who had grown up in the BHA and were working at the entry level could become managers in the BHA. And one of the people who went through that institute as a young man was Bill McGonagle, and 40 years later he was the administrator. So I want to say that because if you're a Mary Ellen resident here today, we want you applying for jobs at the BHA. We want you raising your hand for promotions. We want someday for people to be at a site like this talking about the incredible work that you as a resident who came and worked for BHA did on behalf of all the fellow residents. So I feel like Billy would want me to say that, and those are, some of his most important shoes for us to walk in. The other thing I wanted to read on this occasion, I can't believe it's only been 4 years. 4 years ago we had Billy's retirement party, and I actually wrote him a sonnet for the retirement party, and I know that he liked it. And it was actually centered around this site a bit, because this is the site Billy grew up in. But also for Billy, this site epitomized the fact that public housing residents should have the best. He loved the fact that Carson Beach was right there, that you could walk to Castle Island, that the T was right here. Like, he just was like, this is where public housing should be in all the best neighborhoods in America. And that's why he was so excited about this redevelopment, was the idea of having that quality housing to go along. And so I wrote him a sonnet, and there's a little reference to, you see these balconies that we've got at Mary Ellen, they've got an anchor carved in them because of the original name, Old Harbor. And so you might hear a little reference to that. So it goes like this. It's a sonnet for Bill at retirement. Perhaps off Carson Beach, some sea air free, slipped through an anchor silhouette carved full into an iron Old Harbor balcony and hooked the soul of Bill McGonagle. Could that explain the steadfastness he's shown, giving safe harbor o'er these 40 years to those who need the anchor of a home, a place to build a life, a chance for cheer? A deepest instinct's apt to shape a self, for some to flee, or fight, or wait things out. For Bill, the heartbeat drums to house, to help, to get folks what they need, his lifelong shout. A shout, an oath, a grin, a plan, a fight. That's Bill, our brave, kind warrior for right. Just wanted to offer that up to him again. Thank you again to all of my former elected colleagues on the council, all of our elected colleagues at state and federal level, Congressman Lynch, who is just a steadfast warrior for us at the federal level for funding, and again to Kate Bennett, who has stewarded the public housing of this city so well for 25 years, and then for these last really 4 challenging years of COVID. Really want to thank her as well. Thanks, everyone. Okay, and now I think there's going to be some raffle. All right, we've got Housing Opportunities Unlimited. I'll do another little plug. I want people who are here today from Mary Ellen to know that the whole point of this redevelopment is that it's for you. So our goal is to have people who are living here today all get to come back and enjoy the redevelopment, and HOU is working in partnership with Winn to make sure that that happens and make sure you know about your options in between when we're building this new housing. So they're people to know, and we want you to connect with them, and today they're doing a raffle.
Thank you, Kenzie. Hi, I'm Lisa from HOU, and we've raffled off one $50 gift card, and we have 3 more to raffle off. So I'm going to ask if you can draw the first, Ms. McGonagle. The ticket number is 380-7813. 380-7813. And I have the first name Kia on here, and I have a phone number. So 380-7813.
Wait, is that you?
Is she over there? Is that you? Awesome. Come on up.
Vamos a ver si picamos la suerte. Oh, la fiesta
Congratulations.
Okay. So the next one is 380-7807. And I think there's a name on it. Eve Lynn.
Evelyn A.
Evelyn A. There we go. Evelyn A. Evelyn? Oh, wait. Is that Evelyn? Okay, great. Awesome. Yeah, I think so. We also have a phone number, so yeah. Okay, congrats, Evelyn.
All right. Want to draw the third? Yeah. You want to draw one?
Oh, yeah, sure.
The third $50 gift card is 380-7816. 380-7816. And the first name is Zen. Last name Wang. Zen Wang. Is this Evelyn? What's that? Okay. Zen Wang. All right, we have a phone number for Zen, so we'll reach out to Zen. And I think Congressman Lynch wants to do his own raffle.
Yeah, we have a few other gifts here from the Congressional Gift Shop. So, hey, Kate Bennett, come up here and help me with this. All right. Upside down? Well, these are, I know what you're thinking. It's 90 degrees out and the federal government is handing out blankets. It's what we do, right? We know what you need when you want it. Okay. So, for the first one of these, let's see. My eyes aren't good.
Sorry. Can I get in it?
Is that the Xue? Xue? X-U-E? The number is 380-7831. 380-7831. Any takers? We have a phone number on the back here, so. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Congratulations. Very good. Thank you. All right, we'll do another one. I think we got 4 more. Hilda Gorman. Hilda Gorman. The number is 380-7869. Hilda Gorman. Come on, Hilda. We know you're out there. Come on and get your blanket. All right, we can call it. There's a number on the back here. 857-222. Sounds like a cell phone. Okay, we need to put this aside. We'll do another one. Okay. Carlo. 617-596-4141. That's his phone number. Carlo, the number is 380-7821. Come on, Carlo. Step up. All right, we got his phone number, right? We do. Okay. We're going to keep doing these. All right, how many do we have left?
That's 2 right now.
Okay, 2 more. 2 more. Jorge Romero. Jorge Romero, you out there? 1 Gavin Way, South Boston. We can deliver it to him. 380-7795. All right. 1 more. Last one. Last one of these. Okay. Ken. Ken just put 987, so I don't know what that is. Ken, 987. The number is 380-7836. Come on, Ken. All right, so we gave them away. We'll locate the winners. Now we have, these are keepsake gift boxes. Hold on. There's too much wrapping. I'm not going to unwrap this, but take it from me. They're really nice. If you have hearing aids or false teeth, you can put them right in here. All right. Emilio Duffy. Emilio Duffy. Ticket number 380-7919. Okay, we'll put this right with Emilio's box. Next. Winn. Let's see, 617-203-4009. Ticket number 380-7843. Winn. Tina, maybe? T-H-I-N-A? Tina? Okay. Okay, that's another one. Oh, really? Good. All right. Thank you. All right. The next winner is Denise Sturgill. Denise Sturgill or Sturgill?
Again.
Denise? Here she comes. Wait. Here we go. Where's Denise? Will you open that so we know what's inside there? They're really nice. I just can't get all the wrapping up. Okay, so that's good. That's it. Okay. O'Connor. It says K. K-A-Y-L-E-E. Kaylee O'Connor. Kaylee O'Connor, you here? Congratulations. You're welcome. All right. Oh, yeah. Two more of these? Two more of them. Okay. Yes. Oh, wow. Okay, let me just hold that up. It's pretty nice. So, like this. Very good. Okay, thank you. Thanks for doing that. Thank you. Okay, we called out Kaylee O'Connor already. Okay, the next one is Yomari. Yomari. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Congratulations. And the last one. Shamika. Shamika, it's 380-7826. Shamika. All right. Very good. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful Unity Day. Thank you. Congratulations.